Lord, I'm tired from all this stressing, too weak to count my blessings. Ain't got time for window dressing, just trying to keep my soul intact. I've been running hard, feet on fire, dreams and duty tangled in wire. But when my strength starts slipping away, I still hear your voice say, don't grow weary in well-doing. Get those problems off your chest. Cast your cares on my shoulders, and I'll give you rest. I'll give you rest. These bills don't pay themselves, and my prayers pile up on a shelf. But even in my weakest hour, you remind me I still got power. I've been down, but never out. Grace gon' lift me, I got no doubt. Even when my tears won't dry, you whisper peace inside my cry. Don't grow weary in well-doing. Get those problems off your chest. Cast your cares on my shoulders, and I'll give you rest. I'll give you rest.
Oodly, my little misfit family. Welcome back to the Iron. My name is Timothy. Here on the Iron, I'm Misfit 1. And if you like to rumble your way over here, Rumble family, the jet skiers, you pull up on the beach, that would be I, Misfit 1. And yeah, this is where our little squad, this is where we have a little Bible study. This is where we gather, where we're preparing for perilous times. So if you know if you have family and friends that don't know the Lord, you need to help them understand that they need to start preparing for perilous times because they're coming. And yeah, this is, as we're preparing, it's because we're walking in this midst of deception. We need to have discernment to understand what's going on, because deception is a sign of one of the signs of the last days. And the only way that you're going to be able to have that discernment and not be deceived is to be able to stand firm in the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is the Word of God, the 66 books that we call the Bible. So that's what we do here. We read the Word daily, and this is to help us build our faith. And faith comes by reading and hearing the Word. It's not by pounding rocks and dreaming dreams or whatever. It's by reading the Word. It's how your faith. It says the Lord gives us a measure of faith, and He gives us a measure of faith by how much diligent students we are by reading the Word. And we come here to deepen our relationship with the Lord. It's not to create a religion. We don't pick and choose scriptures to create a religion. We are reading the entire canon of the Word. We have everything we need to understand and to help us during those times that we live in. God has provided us. We are blessed. We are blessed. And probably 95% of the people that proclaim themselves as Christians never read their Bible. Wow. How can you say you meet a girl and you love her and you marry her? How can you get to know her if you spend 1 hour a week with her? You'll never get to know her. And eventually something else is going to catch your eye, and you're going to go off with that and that's what happens if you don't read the Word. The enemy is going to dangle something in front of your eyes, and you're going to wander off. Remember we read that a couple weeks ago about the sower and the seeds and the ground, the different grounds that the seed falls on. Yeah, so right now we are going through the book of Daniel, and we've covered the first 3 chapters so far. And we are in chapter 4. It's about Nebuchadnezzar's second dream. And again, I think we read back here, it's like chapter 2 or maybe 1, where it says that this was like written in Aramaic. So it's like the Gentile language at the time. These was written for it's kind of like directed towards the Gentiles at the time, the people that worship false gods. They didn't have access to God at this time. That happened at Pentecost. When Jesus died and rose and went to heaven, and He sent the Comforter back on Pentecost, that's when He opened up the scriptures and salvation to the lost of the 70 nations. And now we have access to that. And the last 2,000 years has been this mission and ministry to bring back the Gentiles back into the family of God. But back here, it was you worship pagan gods or statues and men and these sons of gods that created all these demigods, and they worshipped all that, and they didn't have access to the true living God. And you see all throughout this book that Nebuchadnezzar and these people knew who the true living God is, but they keep forgetting. So let's just dig in. I think chapter 4 is a long one. Yeah, let's just dig in. Chapter 4, verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, to all people, and then Nebuchadnezzar, this is like a letter that actually Nebuchadnezzar actually wrote. And it's like, it was a decree, so, he probably had the soldiers going around. The soldiers during this time was the Babylonians going around putting a decree all over the known world that, this letter that Nebuchadnezzar wrote. So let's just read it. To all peoples, nations, and languages, and that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied to you. I thought it good to declare the signs and wonders that the Most High God has worked for me. How great are his signs, and how mighty his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in my house and flourishing in my palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts of my bed and the visions of my head troubled me. Therefore I issued a decree to bring all the wise men of Babylon before me. Didn't he learn his lesson the first time? He tried that before, and it was all, yes men. And Daniel was like, he got the interpretation, the dream, and the interpretation from the true living God. And here he is again, another dream, and let's bring in all these soothsayers. I used a decree to bring all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known to me the interpretation of the dream. Then the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers came in, and I told them, so this time he tells them the dream, but they did not make known to me its interpretation. But at last Daniel, came before me. His name is Belshazzar, according to the name of my God. So I guess he still worships whatever his God is, probably himself. In him is the spirit of the holy God. So he has knowledge of the true God, but he still worships his God. I guess that'd be the world. It's just no different than the world today, right? People, especially in America, have knowledge of the true living God, Jesus Christ. They've heard it, seen it. It's all throughout our culture. But they've rejected it, and they keep worshiping whatever their God is. Their house, their money, their wife, I don't know, whatever, their dog. Whatever they've taken and put in place of God. I told the dream before him, saying, Belteshazzar, chief of the magicians, because I know that the Spirit of God, the Holy God, is in you, and no secret troubles you. Explain to me the visions of my dream that I have seen and its interpretation. These were the visions of my head while on my bed. I was looking, and behold, a tree in the midst of the earth, and its height was great. The tree grew and became strong. Its height reached to the heavens, and it could be seen to the ends of the earth. Its leaves were lovely, its fruit abundant, and it was food for all. The beasts of the field found shade under it. The birds of the heavens dwelt in its branches, and all the flesh was fed from it. I saw in the vision of my head while on my bed, and there was a watcher, a holy one, coming down from heaven. Ooh, that stuff always ding, ding, ding intrigues me when I see stuff about fallen angels and watcher. All the a watcher is just it's like another category of angels. They have different kind of angels. Like it's just like the world that we know and see all the variety and difference. The same thing with the angelic realm. It's not a bunch of fat little babies with harps playing on clouds. If you believe that's what heaven's like, you definitely are blocking out everything that's telling you otherwise. So anyways, this watcher, a holy one, comes down. So he's a good watcher. Wasn't part of the watchers of Genesis 6. came down from heaven, he cried aloud and said, thus, chop down the tree and cut off its branches, strip off its leaves, and scatter its fruit. Let the beast get out from under it, and the birds from its branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump and the roots in the earth, bound with a band of iron and bronze. In the tender grass of the field, let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let him graze with the beast, or on the grass of the earth. Ugh. Let his heart be changed from that of a man. Let him be given the heart of a beast, and let 7 times pass over him. The decision is by the decree of the watchers, and the sentence by the word of the holy ones. So there's another. So like I've mentioned it several times. People that in Genesis 6, and these watchers was watching these women, and they came down, and they mated with them. They gave up the octarian, their first abode, their whatever their body was. It's used twice in the Bible. They gave that up and came down and have sex with women and created this offspring. And there are people who try to say, oh, no, it wasn't angels that did that. Because Jesus said angels in heaven don't marry and don't give in marriage. And, they gave up whatever that was where they couldn't do that. They gave that up to come down and have sex with the women. And it says, I think in Corinthians, it talks about us, that we are longing and desiring to have that octarian, that body, this new body, where we can live with the Lord forever. We'll become a son of God again. God is God again. So the sons of God it's a direct creation from God. We are sons of man because we're descendants of Adam. So, but you look, I think it's in Deuteronomy 32, Psalm 82. You can see in Genesis 6 that God has a council, and He uses this council to make decisions about mankind and what's happening here on earth. And they try to say, oh, no, this wasn't what. It's the line of Seth, which wasn't taught until like 500 years after Jesus died. I know some highly intelligent men that got their vocabulary is probably like close to the entire dictionary. That teach, they're pastors. They've been doing it for 40 years, and they love the Lord. And I mean, I don't say anything with their salvation, but they teach that it's a line of Seth thing. But every time you come across passages like this, he's got to like twist the meaning of it and say it's something else, because it says here that this decision made to tell you what we're going to find out is going to take Nebuchadnezzar from his power, cut him down for 7 years. The decision was made by the decree was made by the watchers, and the sentence by the word of the holy ones. There's this council that made this decision to what to do with Nebuchadnezzar. And of course, God the Father agreed with it. Said, "Okay, go do it." And you see in those other, like I said, like Psalm 82, and you'll see that God has this council that He confers with to make decisions on the earth. And it's the same thing, there's these sons of God, these little g gods. People don't, I guess people try to avoid not teaching that because they're afraid people are going to think there's a pluralistic gods. No, there's one God, and then you have the little gods. These gods was created by God Himself. This angelic realm. There's this level of, if you know the military structure, private to full 4-bird colonel or generals. It's the same thing in the angelic realm. There's these rankings, and these 4-star general angels, the watchers, are part of God's council. And you see that, like the 4 living creatures in the book of Revelation. So anyways. So it just blows me away, and I see these people that are like highly intelligent, and they don't get, if you don't understand Genesis 6, and it's actually angels that left the first estate and came down and had sex with women, then you're going to twist the entire Old Testament, because it's all, you got to understand that first, and then you're definitely going to twist like the Book of Revelation and stuff, So I don't know. It's like people can't get that, then I kind of I shut them out and turn them off, because they're always going to come across stuff like this and they're going to say something else. They have to continually change the surface meaning of scriptures because they refuse to acknowledge that angels had sex with women. Why they're so hung up on that, I don't know. So he says, this decree was made by the watchers and the sentence by the word of the holy ones, in order that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men. So you got watchers, holy ones, and they did it so the people will know of the Most High rules the kingdom of men. So these lower little g gods did this to let you know that God rules the affairs of men. Kingdom of men, gives it to whomever he will, and sets over it the lowest of men. So God's in charge. It's key, God's in charge. 18. This dream I, Nebuchadnezzar, have seen. Now you, Belteshazzar, declare its interpretation. Since all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known to me the interpretation, but you are able, for the Spirit of the Holy God is in you. So, Daniel's going to give the interpretation. Then Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, was astonished for a time, and his thoughts troubled him. So the king spoke and said, Belteshazzar, do not let the dream or its interpretation trouble you. Belteshazzar, now remember, this is a letter, and everybody in the world can read this letter. Do not let the dream or its interpretation trouble you. Belteshazzar answered and said, my lord, may the dream concern those who hate you, and its interpretation concern your enemies. So he's gonna stir the pot. He's gonna tell them the truth. He's not gonna be like a little yes man. Oh, sir, this is about some clown over there. And the tree that you saw, which grew and became strong, whose height reached the heavens, and which could be seen by all the earth, whose leaves were lovely, and its fruits abundant, in which was food for all, under which the beasts of the field dwelt, and in whose branches the birds of the heavens had their home. It is you, O king, who have grown and become strong. For your greatness has grown and reaches to the heavens, and your dominion to the end of the earth, and inasmuch as the king saw a watcher, highlight that, it's my new Bible, so everything highlighted, a watcher, a holy one coming down from heaven and saying, chop down the tree and destroy it, but leave its stump and roots in the earth, bound with a band of iron and bronze, in the tender grass of the field. Let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let him graze with the beasts of the field. So he's going to cut down him, but he's not going to destroy him. His roots are still going to be there. Till 7 times pass over. So, how they explain the time, like in the book of Revelation, it talks about 3.5 years as times, and half a times. So, here they have it translated right. I think in the King James it's worded like that, but here they have it till 7 times pass over him. 7 years. This is the interpretation, O king, and this is the decree by the Most High, of the Most High. That oregano. O king, this is the decree of the Most High, which has come upon my lord the king. They shall drive you from men, your dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make you eat grass like oxen. They shall wet you with the dew of heaven, and 7 times shall pass over you, till you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and it gives it to whomever he chooses. It's to let you know, high and mighty with your gold statue there, you think you're the man. Well, God's going to let you know that he's the ruler of men. The Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomever he chooses. God gave you that. Remember I told you back, God gave you all this power, and then here you are thinking you got it because you're awesome or whatever. So he says, inasmuch as they gave the command to leave the stump and the roots of the tree, your kingdom shall be assured to you after you come to know that heaven rules. Therefore, O king, let my advice be acceptable to you. Break off your sins by being righteous, and your iniquities by showing mercy to the poor. Perhaps there may be a lengthening of your prosperity. So Daniel's saying, dude, stop sinning by being righteous. So stop your sinning and become a righteous man. And your iniquities by showing mercy to the poor. So become a righteous man. Stop being high and haughty. realize that the Most High God is the one that puts you in this position. Become a righteous man, break off from your sins, show mercy to the poor, and perhaps God will lengthen your prosperity. All this came upon King Nebuchadnezzar at the end of the 12 months. He was walking about the royal place of Babylon. The king spoke, saying, "Is not this great Babylon that I have built?" So he's, calm down. But it says a year later, old King Babylon's like, "Oh, look at me, people, look at me. Oh, look at me, I am king." Is it not this great Babylon that I have built for the royal dwelling of my mighty power and for honor of my majesty? He goes, search pride in the scriptures. God definitely detests a prideful man, prideful people. Group of people here in America, this our whole religion is based on pride, right? We cut down just like Nebuchadnezzar. Verse 31, while the word was still in the king's mouth, a voice fell from heaven, "King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken, the kingdom has departed from you." Imagine Nebuchadnezzar at that point, like, oh, that's right. Verse 32, and they shall drive you from men, and your dwelling shall be with the beast of the field. They shall make you eat grass like oxen, and 7 times shall pass over you, until you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomever he chooses. That very hour the word was fulfilled concerning Nebuchadnezzar. He was driven from men and ate grass like oxen. His body was wet with the dew of the heaven until his hair had grown like eagles' feathers and his nails like the bird's claws. Imagine. The king of the world. And now he's grazing in the field with, says, his grass like oxen. His body was wet with the dew of heaven till his hair had grown like eagles. So, feathers? The hair was like feathers, like an eagle. And his nails like bird's claws. So it says because he walks like the beast of the field, but he looks like an eagle. Does he walk on all fours, or does he walk on his feet like an eagle? He's got big old claws and feathers, and he's always wet. And at the end of the time, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted my eyes to heaven, and my understanding returned to me, and I blessed the Most High, and praised and honored him who lives forever. So it took him 7 years after it was over, and he realized, and he worshiped the Most High God. For his dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from the generation to generation. All the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing. He does according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth. Look at that. He does according to his will in the army of heaven. And like I say, it's not a bunch of fat little cherubs playing harps on clouds. There's an army, like a military structure of the heavenly beings. You got your privates and your 4-star generals. And it says God is in charge of the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth. No one can restrain his hand or say to him, "What have you done?" At the same time, my reason returned to me, and for the glory of my kingdom, my honor and splendor returned to me. My counselors and nobles resorted to me. I was restored to my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added to me. Now I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of the heaven, all of whose works are truth, and his ways justice, and those who walk in pride he is able to put down. Those who walk in pride he is able to put down. And I wonder if I don't remember. The last time I heard somebody teach this and study this a long time ago, but I haven't read it in a while either. It's not the whole book. But I don't know if this decree was posted everywhere after all this took place. Like this is like historical, and now he's telling everybody what happened. if he did it before. He probably it sounds like it, the way it sounds in context. He posted this after he was restored back to his position. Praise, extol, honor, King of heaven, all of whose works are truth. All his works are truth, and his ways justice. And those who walk in pride, he is able to put down. Is that putting it mildly, or what? What he's going to do with those who walk in pride? All right, so there you go. That was actually a book written. I think that's how you get your 40 authors, the 66 books and 40 different authors. Nebuchadnezzar is like, I think one of those. I think he's included in that because I don't know. I forgot. I think it's like from chapter 2 up to chapter 7 or whatever. It's all written in the Gentile language. Nebuchadnezzar definitely wrote this letter as they put it into the book of Daniel, historical. I think the first 6 chapters in the book is like a historical, and then the second 6, like the second half of Daniel is like all visions. I can't wait to get to that. That's the stuff that's I love. That's the kind of stuff fascinates me. That's what I'm drawn towards. But so yeah, there you go. Chapter 4 in the book of Daniel. Nebuchadnezzar wrote this himself. It's his second dream. Pride becomes before the fall, right? So there you go. So chapter 5, we'll dig into that on Friday. That's Belshazzar's feast. Writing on the wall, another famous story in the Bible. More nomenclatures that we use throughout, the writing on the wall. All these things that was scriptural and in the Bible that we still use today in our, the language, terms that we use as we talk and walk here on earth. So yeah, we'll dig into chapter 5. There's a guy in my heathen backslidden days I used to listen to. He was a guitar player for Marilyn Manson, and his name is Tim Skold, and he's got his own little band now. But he's got a song where he's how's it go? He's like he's like an angel sitting back, and he was actually watched this writing on the wall. Every time I heard that, I was like, this chapter definitely clicked in my head as I listened to that song. So yeah, wouldn't recommend you guys go listen to that. So yeah, there you go. Chapter 4 in the book of Daniel, and we'll be back here on the island of the Lord tarries on Friday, and we'll dig into chapter 5. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on Friday.
I'll be back.